Hello, it's like buses. Don't get a video for 4 months and then 2 in a week. Mrs. Smith, she was looking at my darning pile, and the reason she's looking at my darning pile, by the way, you haven't got to worry, I'm going to try to keep her out of this video, so it'd just be me. So oh look, the sun's, see, I say it's raining in Cornwall all the time, and look, there you go, sunshine. Mrs. Smith has this cushion. It's a very old cushion that she's got of a, to move the flowers, it's a seagull cushion, and I don't know if you can see because of the sunshine, but there is a split across there. And I said to her, well, you know, because she was going to throw it out, and I said, well, you know what you could do, put a bit of horizon in there and have the sea in the background. And she said, oh, that's a good idea. And then it sat in my darning pile for like a year or something. So yeah, she's seen it this morning sitting there, and she said, oh, so I need to find, there were 2 covered buttons on the back, and so I'm going to try and find, when I find my button tin, find a couple of nice buttons to replace that. Anyway, so she said, and also the other thing, of course, is this time of year, because I don't know, when I did my sock darning video, must have been about February, March of last year, and I haven't done any darning since then, obviously with the troubles that we've been through. So I'm running low on socks. So a lot of my socks, because as you know from my last video, I am trying to stick with these socks for the rest of my life, because I think it's a good plan. So they've all got little holes. This one's got a huge hole there. So people complained. No, they didn't complain. People suggested, oh, that's a better light. People suggested that I do a video of a big hole, me repairing a big hole. So that's what we're going to do today. So see you inside. Mrs. Smith said we didn't pick the cushion up very well, so there is her seagull cushion. I'm not going to do that in this episode, because this is just a quickie of me darning a big hole in a sock. So next you're going to see my hands. So this is the cushion that she wants sorted. Okay, so next I think if we can do a close-up on my hands, Joe, that'd be lovely. So I will just, I use, as you know from my previous darning video, I use like a rug yarn because it's quite fibrous. And look at that, that is a big hole. But that hole would probably be more like that. So, are you okay, Joe? Has the sun come out again? So we can't win if the sun's in, it's too dark to film, and if the sun's out, it's too bright to film. There you go, because we've got a south-facing window. So what I usually do is just tack quickly around the outside. So I'm just a big hole. I've left that end loose. Do you want me to waffle on about anything else? Just talk about darning, Joe.
Whatever waffle you want.
Okay. I will carry on. Yeah, I was just thinking about your dad, because in the last episode we were talking about the King of Barini, and everyone was amazing actually how many other people that have gone through the same or going through the same. And I think it's like, I was sort of remembering my grandparents, and they didn't get to that age. Okay, you're filming. Mm-hmm. So I had to stop there because we ran out of memory. It's really weird actually, because the other day when we were doing video, I was trying to remember the word memory. And so when I was watching the video back, our last video back, I was laughing at myself. But our daughter Kitty was also, she said that she was laughing because she got subtitles up on that video, and apparently the subtitles were really funny, but I haven't watched it yet. So we stopped again there because, one, we turned the dishwasher off because we had the dishwasher on, and two, there was no memory on Joe's phone, and there's no memory on the phone, so we've taken off the NHS, which is the National Health Service app for COVID. Okay, can't remember what I was talking about before we stopped, but we stopped for a while there, so we've now got some space on the phone. So I've just gone round in a circle really, but it's quite a big hole, but I'm going to come in a bit. I think I might just come in a bit more. And it's just as usual, I don't take any care over it really. So I'm just going to kind of tighten it up a bit, come in a little bit. So I just like to go around the outside of the hole. It just sort of firms it up a bit for when I come to do the crisscross stuff, which you'll see in a minute. Sorry, John, I'm moving around and the lights coming in the window and everything. Oh, we were talking about before. Isn't that dark there, Joe? I think it might look a bit dark on the screen. Now the sun's coming out. Well, we were talking about King of Barini, and I think I said in the last video that he is a legitimate hoarder because he was born in 1939, and what I meant by that was that he the war obviously started in 1939, and there was rationing, and rationing lasted till 1953. I think the Michael Palin film, A Private Function, is, I think it might even be the 50s by then, when they're trying to, if you've seen that film, where they're trying to hide a pig because they're not meant to have a pig because meat's rationed. But anyway, yeah, everything was rationed when he was a kid till he was 14, so 13, 14. So you can understand why he would hoard. So now I'm just going to put I'm just going to crisscross across. I'm going to go, I might go this way first. So I'm just going up there. I want to go past, I'll get a couple of stitches in, and now I'm going to go back that way. So I don't know if I'm making any sense, but what I like to do is get a couple of stitches either side of the hole really before I come back. So I'm just putting some weps or wharfs or what they called. Don't know. Do you know what they're called, Joe?
No.
No, I didn't think you did. Wefts? Warps? I don't know. People that do what's it called?
Darning?
Not darning.
Sewing?
No, not sewing.
Knitting?
No, not knitting. People that make fabric on a loom, they'd know what it is. What are they called? You're drinking your tea quite loudly. Oh, it's mug of the week, isn't it, Joe? It's another Donna Wilson. It's your mug, that one. It's another Donna Wilson hand painted one that Sophie, our eldest, bought for Joe. Yeah, what I was saying is that's the dishwasher bleeping, by the way, because we've put it on hold. What was I talking about? Your father. I was talking about King of Barini. Well, he's a legitimate hoarder, and I don't see myself as a legitimate hoarder really. Because obviously I've got no, I haven't got that background that he's got. So, yeah, I'm just going to start to put some in that way. So I'm just going over and under and over and under. Sorry, Joe, I'm moving it around all over the place, aren't I? Mm-hmm. It's a difficult thing because I want to move. I want to move it around, and you're trying to film it, so it's a bit hard. Up, over, under that one, over that one, under that one, over, under. Are you filming? Yeah, so we got a load of nice messages. Thank you all for your messages from the last video. But it wasn't just the King of Barini that kept us away from your screen. There was lots more going on than that. But it was lovely of you all to write to us. I also got a message from Liam. I think it was on episode 1. And Liam said, I really admire a cis man who can knit, and have I ever had any negative feedback as a knitter? Well, I had to look up, I've got to admit, I had to look up cis man because I didn't know what it was, which is, it shows my, what's the word, Joe? Ignorance. Yeah, ignorance is bliss. So yeah, I looked that up. But yeah, the thing is, I wrote back to him. I said no, I never have, and I never have. Even when I was like a young man, sort of on the tube in London, I always used to get sort of positive stuff. I mean, the majority of people that talk to me when I'm knitting are women, I would say, and it's an easy opener, it's an easy way to start a conversation. So yeah, I've always found it positive rather than negative. So I've never ever had a negative comments or anything really.
Maybe strange looks sometimes.
Yeah, perhaps more strange looks from men, maybe. I don't know. But no, not really. I don't. It's not something that's ever bothered me, and I knit in public as much as I can, really. Well, when I'm knitting, which hopefully will be soon. Oh, by the way, Joe, I found when I was digging around looking for darning mushroom. Weavers, that's what they're called. When I was looking for a darning mushroom, That is a strange, it's terrible, isn't it, getting old? Your memory goes, doesn't it? I mean, we talk about the King of Barini. I found, keep down there, I sound like Keith Floyd there. Again. I found that, which is, I think that's an initial version of your shawl that I started to knit. And you know, I'm getting low on I'm just checking where I'm going, over or under. I'm getting low on yarn for your shawl, and that's the reason I went into the loft. Well, there's some there that I can nick anyway, so that's good. So that helps. I'm actually pulling it in just a bit at the moment. This yarn that I'm using is not very thick. For some reason I've picked out thinner yarn, so, but I'll probably just, what I'll do is I'll get this and this done, and then I'll just go round and round and round, do a spiral or something, because I don't really mind how it looks. You know, well, I do, because I like the idea that it, you know, it looks like it's been darned, rather than trying to pretend that it, you know, trying to cover it up. But under. But it's a functional thing, really. I suppose in the olden days when people used to darn, they used to try to make things look as if they were brand new, but see there, I don't think there's enough, so I'm going to give it another stitch that way before I come back. So yeah, what I'll probably do, you know, now I've done this, is change colour, because it's not thick enough. That's all very thin, and maybe do a spiral. I do like doing a spiral. Gone under when I should have gone over. There we go. Don't know how this is going to come out, because it, as usual, we haven't got best equipment, and the sun's in and out. But as you can see, I've made a kind of weave there. Now I've remembered the word, I'm going to say it like 100 times, Joe. Ooh. Fancy forgetting the word weaving. So yeah, I'm just going to trot around the outside a bit with this. I've only got a bit left on this needle, so I'm just going to reinforce the outside a bit. So I just went round and I'll put my hand in there so you can see. I just went round a bit more and then tucked the end in. So the end's just loose in there. I didn't tie it off. It's just loose in there. So now I've changed colour. You won't be able to see the difference, I don't think, because this green is very similar to that previous green, but it's a bit of a thicker yarn. So now I'm just gonna, well, also there's this bit here. I don't know if you can see that bit there. So I'm just going to just go round again and thicken that up and go down there. It's raining now. There you go. So we're back to normal in Cornwall. The rain is back. It's hail, is it? Yeah. It's just as good. I was trying to find a darning mushroom earlier. And normally, I used to have like loads of them everywhere. And one of the things I've decided to sort of reduce down is my amount of tools as well. So we put some of those on Etsy, didn't we, Joe? And they've sold now, so there's none of those left. So yeah, it was a struggle to find a darning mushroom. So yeah, I'm just thickening that area up, but I'm not. I've done all the crisscrossing, that's all there. So now it's just this is a off piece. I'm just anywhere I want to go. I'm going to bring these bits in. Created a knot straight away there. Great. Second there, because Mrs. Smith was like, well, it's not very interesting watching you get a knot out. Yeah, I've got about 10 pairs of socks, something like that. So I think well, I don't think any of them are still 100% since I did them a year ago. Yeah, obviously when they get too bad, I put them in my darning pile, and then my darning pile becomes bigger than the amount that I've got in my sock drawer. And it just needed to be done. I do feel guilty doing this sort of stuff. No, I shouldn't, but I do feel guilt because I feel like I should be doing, you know, real work or something. Because I feel that this is
indulgence.
An indulgence, yeah. Because obviously I could just go out and buy some new socks. I always think like Father Mackenzie.
The Beatles.
Yeah, when I'm darning, yeah, it always comes to mind. That's a weird thing.
Like Eleanor Rigby.
Yeah, the song Eleanor Rigby, darning her socks. Who's darning her socks? Eleanor. Yeah, by the light of the.
I thought it was the father.
Is it Father Mackenzie darning his socks? Oh, might be.
In the night, and there's nobody there.
I don't know which one of them darns the socks. Some people will know. They can put it in the comments below. We both used to play the Beatles a lot when we were young, didn't we? Before we knew each other, Joe.
Yeah.
So I am going to. That's all nice. That's all quite nice there, really. I'm quite happy with that. Just in the middle there, it feels a bit light. So I'm just gonna. But when I wear this, it'll all sort of flatten out and all just turn into felt, and it would be lovely. I'm just going to go over that a couple of times, and then I'm going to head down there to do that. It's quite quiet today. It's a Sunday. It's quite quiet. We've just got Arthur here. So he's watching his YouTube. So he's watching is it Pokemon or something, Joe? Sonic the Hedgehog gaming. So yeah, we're allowed to do a bit of this. Yeah, it's getting nice and thick there. Can you see it? Does it come out? It just looks, it just look a mess in the. So I'm just gonna whiz around the inside of this a bit and then go and do that. Are you standing there? But okay. So yeah, I just put a couple more bits there, and I'm just heading down there now. So yes, my hoarding, we are trying to deal with it. We're trying to deal with a lifetime's worth of hoarding. I started hoarding a long time ago. When I was at university, I used to supplement my income. Not that I had an income, but I used to supplement my. They were the days we had a grant. Supplement my grant with buying and selling. Back then I used to, because I was in the King's Road in Chelsea, I used to go into the charity shop. It was the Red Cross shop was my main one, but I used to go into a few and buy stuff in there, and then I would take it to a shop called Hackett, which is still going, and it's grown massive now. But back then, back in the day, Hackett was a second-hand clothes shop, and they used to sell like silk ties and handmade suits, handmade shoes. So, you know, I used to buy a pair of Church's or something, and Church's shoes, and take them down there, a few silk ties and maybe a suit or a shirt or whatever. And I used to supplement my income. But then the other thing that I did as well, you know, I bought a painting once in one of those shops, and this would have been 1984 or 5. I bought a painting and subsequently sold it in Christie's. So I paid £5 for it, and I sold it for £2,700 in the 80s, which is quite a lot of money back then. Well, it's still quite a lot of money now. So that was it really for me. That was, you know, once you've, as a young man, once you've had that success, you're always trying to chase it. I've never found another painting. Obviously I find things all the time, but I've never found a painting that's worth that sort of money again. So even though I'm in Cornwall, there's a lot of painting, a lot of art going on. Found a nice jug the other day. I found a nice set of chairs recently as well. Look at that, look. Yeah, oh, got him. So I'm just closing that up. I've just run a line down there. I'm just closing it. I'm just thickening that up a bit. So it's a preemptive. I might put a couple down there. They're not pretty. This isn't pretty at all. It's just like a bit of preempted. And I'm going to go back up there and put a bit more around there. I'm just sort of feeling it really, where it's a bit low. That's the dishwasher bleeping again, Joe.
And the sun's giving me grief.
So I don't know if anybody else does a bit of buying and selling on the side. It's something I've always done. I think because I've been in the trade, because I've been in I've been in the sign trade. So I used to, I mean, I'd go abroad, like, you know, I'd go to Ireland for 6 months and do Debenhams in Ireland, stuff like that. I used to do a lot of installations in the sort of 90s and up until quite recently at times. And the thing is, when you do installations, you'll get a job. You get 6 months work, and at the end of the 6 months, you'll be trying to hit this deadline. And you hit the deadline, you come home, and then you've got nothing to do. You know, you're swinging your heels. Did you notice I use that polite phrase there, Joe? I usually use a different phrase than that. Yeah. Yeah, you're swinging your heels for a few months until the next job comes along. So I've always, in the past, I've always sort of, you know, collected stuff together, you know, for when things are quiet. Of course, we've just had a period where we've been very busy and we haven't done anything. And, you know, the stuff that I've been collecting has just been sort of sitting. Well, some of the stuff's been around for years and years and years. But, yeah, I don't know if anybody else does that type of thing or whether it's just me. Well, I know other people do, because I've started watching a lot of the YouTube videos that I've been watching of late, most recently, have been resellers. So I've quite got into those. I don't know if anybody else watches reseller videos. My tip would be luxury pickers. Luxury pickers. They are in well, they're near where your sister lives, aren't they? So we actually spend a bit of time just sort of south of Bristol way. So we are over that way quite a lot. So the places they go to pick clothes, they buy and resell clothes. So the places they go to, a lot of them we know. So it's quite interesting to watch. Well, we even go there sometimes when we're that way. That's my tummy. I don't know if you can hear that. Yeah, I don't suppose the luxury pickers will ever watch a darning video, but they might do. Hello, Bethany in Austin, if you ever watch this. Who else do we like, Joe? We like George. He's in Essex, so he goes to Leigh-on-Sea, where we used to live. He goes picking there. So we watch him. He's called Retro Reselling. That's another recommendation for you for YouTube. And then I watch lots of others. Watch Rummage Around. I watch some of the American ones. They're good. I think I'm going to call it a day there. I think it's about done. I think what I might just do is just run around there, just sort of give it a bit more, pretty up a bit. Well, if you can say pretty up, it's not really very pretty. Right, okay. I think I'm done. That's quite solid there. And maybe what I'll do is I'll just end with, I don't know, might end with a before and after shot. I did take a before shot, so maybe I'll do an after shot. And then, so how I'd end is just go back on myself there, and I'm just going to pop that in there, take the mushroom out, and then I'm just going to send that through. Sorry, Joe, I'm all over the place. Just going to send that through. Yeah, you have had a difficult time filming this, haven't you? And then leave quite a long tail on it and just cut it off, and then that will just work its way in, and there we are. Not very pretty. Oh, sorry. Do you want me to? But that'll all mash together, and that'll be good for another year. Now I've got to go and do the toe. Okay, thanks, Joe. Yes, I've got Joey standing here because she's blocking out the sunshine. So there we are. So that's done. And I'll get on and do that toe. And we'll come back and at some point do that. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Oh, it's bye from me and goodbye from her. Bye.